This is the layout of the pedal assembly line. The process flows from left to right. The assembly line has 6 sub-assembly stations, and each sub-assembly works individually. This is a UI display to show the overall process sequences. The operator manually loads a connecting rod onto a turntable jig. The connecting rod is pressed for a complete seat on the jig. A ring is inserted into the connecting rod, and 2 magnets are inserted into the ring. After the magnet insertion, the magnets and the ring are tied together by heating. The magnets and the ring are inspected visually. After the visual inspection, only the good ones move to the next station. So far, this is the sub-assembly of the connecting rod. The operator manually loads the housing into an empty carrier and pushes a button to transfer the carrier to the next station. A slider and a spring holder are inserted into the connecting rod for spring insertion. There is a visual inspection of the slider and the spring holder, which are inserted in the connecting rod. After the visual inspection, a spring is inserted into the spring holder. After the spring insertion in the spring holder, there's a visual inspection of the spring, the slider, and the spring holder to double check. A housing cover supplied from a feeder fits into the housing, and there is a picker which has sensors to check whether the housing cover fits well. If not, it skips to the next station. Bolts are screwed onto the housing cover by Stanley tool. A displacement sensor on a picker inspects the status of the bolts on the housing cover. If the result of the displacement sensor inspection is acceptable, PCB is inserted in the housing. A PCB cover supplied from the feeder is placed on the PCB. A Stanley tool screws bolts to tie the PCB cover, PCB, and the main body of the pedal. A completed assembled pedal is to be mechanically tested prior to the electrical test. After the mechanical test, a connector is connected to the pedal and a program download starts for the electrical test. The electrical test starts with test setting condition. The program of the finished good one is locked in order not to change or modify the program. At the end of the assembly line, the good ones or the rejected ones are sorted by a picker. These are the finished good pedals.